Well, you know, Wonder Woman.
I turned it down. They asked, and I was just like, you know, why don't we let's let somebody else do it. Let's give this glory to.
They were going to give you the full Wonder Woman treatment, and you're like,
look at me.
I'll just take the T-shirt.
I mean, look at me. Basically Wonder Woman, pretty much. What's up, everybody? Calen, before we get to everything that we're going to get to, I got to give a shout out to all my people tuned in to watch my BTW episode with Dom Dwyer. We hit up that WWE Raw show in Kansas City. It was so fun. Thanks for watching it. If you haven't watched it, hello.
What are you doing?
Do it.
Can I say my favorite part?
Yeah.
When you hit full Beyonce stride. People don't see that every day. I see that every day walking into work.
Thanks, Calen. Yeah, you know, in my head, I executed it a lot better than was actually performed. But thank you. Thanks for.
I like it.
Thanks for saying that. Also, guys, we've got another BTW. The fun just doesn't stop. Coming out this week.
Who's in this one?
Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh.
Showing him around my hometown in Chicago. We had a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how this one
turns out. You guys
out.
went shopping, right?
We did. We did a little shopping.
What did you bring back for me?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I brought you some presents. All right, let's get to it, shall we?
The present is the episode, yeah.
This is our gift to you.
This is the gift.
So let's kick it off with our Twim takeaway. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Should I go first?
No, I want to go first
today.
You
go first.
You know, you got the Wonder Woman shirt on. You're feeling special, but I want to start us off.
Take it away.
And I want to kick it off with New England Revolution. They had a great week. Started off with a 2-2 tie on the road against NYCFC. No easy feat. And then take care of business at home, 3-0 over TFC. Of course, no Josie, no Michael Bradley.
No Bradley.
Javinko was back though, but this is when you see it working for the Revs. You know, they find the right pieces, and I think a big part of that was Kellen Rowe. They put him in the middle of midfield. He's a guy that's been versatile and used in a lot of different parts on the field, but he's best in the middle. You get Lee Win more advanced, Fagundes out wide, and then they have to make a choice. Kai goes with the start, but then Juan comes on later in the game and is able to get the goal that ends the game for them off a double post.
Double post.
Did you see that? A different kind of double post.
It was
a double crossbar.
It was crazy. Good to talk about the Revs, though. I feel like we don't give them enough love.
Lee Win, 6 goals and 7 assists this year.
Yep.
I feel like he was one of the snubs for the Gold Cup, which we will also talk about.
We will talk about it.
But the Revs just below the line, tied on points with the Red Bulls, and in a good spot right now.
So my Twim takeaway is domination in Dallas. My goodness, a huge 6-2 win over RSL. Dallas scored 5 goals. 5 goals in the first half. That's the first MLS team to ever complete that feat. Roland Lamau with a hat trick in 31 minutes. Also, a shout out to Jesus Ferreira, who scored his first MLS goal. He is now the 2nd youngest MLS player to score in a game, only behind Freddie Adu, who is 14, I believe, is what we're talking about here. But yeah, so there's a lot to talk about in this one. I mean, just a completely dominant performance over an RSL team that's sort of scuffling.
Tough week for them.
Yeah.
You know, because they went to Houston and got run over 5-1 earlier in the week, and then turn around. Now, you can say RSL missing a bunch of guys, of course, with the U20s. I do think that is a really interesting thing to think about, because when I was playing, if you guys were gone for the U20s, that's not an excuse for your team to not be performing. But now that we're in this new MLS, hey, there are some important players on that team, you know, with Justin Glad, with the Sebastian Saucedo, some of these guys that are Lennon, some of these guys that are really important for this squad.
All right, well, last week we talked about Vancouver, who couldn't buy a goal. I think they had hit the crossbar 4 times.
Yeah.
This week, though, different story. Big 3-1 win for them over Atlanta. Kendall Waston, man, he had a brace. Just what a big, imposing dude he is, you know? And that his first goal, the control that he exhibited there, just to kind of like control it with his chest, just knock it in, a nice little finish there. He's a special player. I really enjoy watching him.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's been maligned for his rash challenges, red cards, but his talent is clearly there, and he's put it together. Another guy I think that doesn't get talked about enough is Tim Parker, who gets another goal in this one. 3 goals on set pieces, that's a positive. When you need goals and you haven't been lucky scoring like they were last week, sometimes set pieces can solve the problem for you. Something to watch for Atlanta. Giving up goals on set pieces, 3 in a single game is too many to watch, something they need to be careful of.
Listen to Calen Carr, he knows what he's talking about. All right, so earlier we mentioned Jesus Ferreira scoring his first goal of the season. We got another guy who scored his first goal of the season. One Alan Gordon, Mr. Super Sub for the Rapids. He gave his team the big 2-1 win over the Crew. This is a nice two wins for them in a row. And after a pretty slow start to this season, I feel like maybe things are kind of starting to click for Colorado.
Yeah, one little move that I liked is the guy Marlon Hairston moving to right back. I think that's a move that could potentially affect the national team because I think we haven't had right backs, of course, DeAndre Edlin, but especially domestically here in MLS, it's been a bit of a weak spot for us. So I think Marlon, who I've been texting a little bit because I'm trying to do a feature on him, is a good option there. He gets forward late in the game and gets a nice assist to Kevin Doyle. But I think his development there is a nice little subtle adjustment you've seen from Pablo as he's tried to find the right mix of guys here.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on to Seattle, who notched a 1-0 win over Houston, and Will Bruin, the big hero in this one. He scored in the 69th minute against his old team. Houston, though, still winless on the road.
Yeah, Houston 7-0-1 at home, 0-6-1 on the road.
Woo!
And Will did not celebrate. He did not celebrate. No, he had a great run in Houston, obviously, in our time there. But he was also kind of pushed aside a little bit. So I feel good for Will on a personal note. It's nice to score against your former team.
Absolutely.
And Will's a guy, he's not afraid to share that. You know, I mean, he's found a nice new home for himself in Seattle. I think are really one of the underrated pickups of the offseason.
Excellent stuff. And we're going to end with the game that I was most looking forward to watching this weekend. Orlando taking on the Chicago Fire at Orlando. It was raining. The field was wet. There was all kinds of drama surrounding this one. This game was for a 0-0 draw. It was a really good game. I mean, usually these are, those can be kind of a wash.
Exactly.
But this one was super exciting. Orlando goes down 9 men on 2, I'm going to say, controversial, straight red.
We were arguing about this because I thought the second one was red.
The second one was definitely, I think, easier to say, okay, you can justify that as a red card. The first one,
he's looking at the ball for me, so we're getting into Simon.
I know, exactly.
We'll see in a second.
However, they, credit to Orlando, man. They go down 9 men. They hang on. Chicago hit the crossbar twice at the end of the game, but Will Johnson, man, he was immense in this one.
He was, and I liked how honest he was after the game. And I'm getting good at this tossing.
You are.
Let's toss to that sound. Go ahead, Will.
It's huge. I mean, they're so knowledgeable. It's like you're playing in Europe or Central America. They understand the game and they understand what a big result 0-0 is. Americans used to think that a 0-0 draw was a boring game. And, if you watch that game, that was anything but. So congrats to our fans for helping us and help get that point for us.
So they split the points in this one, but this has to feel like a win for Orlando, right?
Yeah, and it's a good week for them because they had a 2-0 win earlier in the week against DC United. Come home, go 2 men down. That context matters, and I think that's a good point from Will to give Orlando a lot of credit. Their fans, knowledgeable fan base, and man, they really get after it.
Yeah, it was intense. All right, so as we mentioned last week, you can start voting for your MLS All-Stars. Download that app. I did it. I picked mine. I know you did. You did it during the show.
I'm on it right now, yeah.
You were doing it during the show. But some of the guys that you might have selected may have been called up for the national team. Who knows? They had the friendly against Venezuela at Rio Tinto Stadium. This one ended in a 1-1 draw for the U.S. Tim Howard, man, once again coming up big.
What a save!
First country. That guy. It's a national treasure.
He really is. He really is.
And we also have some news. The 40-man preliminary roster for the Gold Cup has been announced, and there's some interesting names. I feel like Bruce Arena might watch this show because we might have been dropping some names. Christian Roldan, and look who shows up on this list, right?
It's almost as if he's just not playing awesome, and Bruce actually notices.
Bruce, I like to think that Bruce watches this show and is looking to us for advice, obviously.
Another really nice assist, by the way. He had a great assist on that Will Bruin goal.
He sure did.
Yeah. So he's on the list. I'm on the app right now. Who else do we have?
Dom Dwyer, my buddy, Dom Dwyer, who I actually talked about, becoming his American, he got his American citizenship. He gets the call up his first time as an American citizen, which is pretty cool. I know that means a lot to him. It means a lot to Sydney. Was really excited about it. She had posted a cute Instagram about it. So it's nice. That's good to see him on there as well.
Jonathan Spector back in.
Any omissions for you? Anybody that you were a little surprised that was not included?
Sasha Clutchton, I think, is a guy that's been doing well with his club, but has a history of doing well, especially when you look at his combination play with Christian Pulisic, Darlington Nagbe, some of the names that have been used regularly in that lineup. Lee Wynn, also another one. And then Iko Para, he's done so well for Sporting Kansas City. His time is coming. It may not be right now. His teammate Matt Beasler gets the call, of course, a little bit more experience with the national team. Potential to use them together with the national team. I'd like to see that pair with the national team as well.
I like it. Well, it is a huge week for U.S. men's soccer. They have 2 World Cup qualifiers starting on Thursday. Both of these games can be seen on FS1. The U.S. plays Trinidad Tobago at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then on Sunday, 8:30 Eastern, U.S. versus Mexico. Whoo! In Mexico. That's going to be a crazy one.
Yes.
I'm really, that's always a nice heated rivalry.
Yeah, you know it.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be hot.
Gonna be good. And I'm going to remind everybody that you can follow all of the MLS action and all the U.S. men's national team action on the app if you download it. And you should. Do you like that? You like that plug?
Yes, I do like it. And I use this thing like it's pretty much my lifeline.
You use it to watch highlights.
My battery is running out on
like
my phone.
Like your boy
Joe Bendick.
Yes.
Exactly.
And this is a wonderful
He's
transition.
on that preliminary Gold Cup roster as well. And it leads nicely. It's almost as if you knew it.
Yep.
To my, did you see that?
Hit it.
Yeah. This goal was, or it should have been a goal, but this save from Joe Bendick was unbelievable. Comes off his line, gets rounded, keeps going, comes back, puts on the cape. I saw our producer Paul made a nice special effects on it.
It was great.
You're into the superhero thing.
Oh, yes I am. How did you know?
Hey,
How did you know? How did you know?
Joe was inspired. Hey, you can be inspired by Wonder Woman.
Of course you can.
Yeah, why not?
She's for everybody. She's for the world.
So shout out to Joe. He's had an excellent season.
All right, Calen. So did you see that? I was checking out the gram over the weekend. Been known to do that time and again.
Hey.
Got to NYCFC's feed and did a double take because Tommy McNamara cut his hair. And it was unrecognizable.
Really?
So yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It looks good. It looks good. I'm just not used to it, you know.
He's gone corporate.
He's got the nice flow. So I don't know if it's because he got the call up for the Gold Cup as well. Maybe it was like, hey, new look for Bruce. Who knows? But I like it. I think it's gonna grow on me.
Tommy Mac cutting his hair. This is big news, folks.
It is.
Yes.
It is. We're in the business of talking about all the big storylines on This Week in MLS.
Yeah.
And that was major for me. Woo, for me.
New Jersey.
I know.
These
right?
kids, they're all gonna have to change their whole look.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Maybe I should cut the hair. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
Oh wait, one more thing.
What?
I saw over the weekend. I didn't get to do it for Did You See That? But all of the tifos for Pride Month.
Yeah, it was
that
really
was really
awesome.
cool. I saw Kansas
Very
City
cool.
do a big one. Where else did I see them? Oh, New England had the tree going.
Yeah.
They were all over the place. I think that's a really cool message for MLS fans to get behind as far as supporting people of all different sexual orientations.
Absolutely.
And sort of like gender.
That was nice.
Yeah.
What a nice way to close out the show.
Hey, you know,
good job, bud.
I've been watching Wonder Woman, inspired me.
Right?
For real.
We got all the feels. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to check out BTW. Check out some episodes of
Check
The
out our
Movement
own Wonder Woman.
While you're at
Just
it.
producing content like left and right. Keep hitting them with it.
Can't stop, won't stop. Guys, we'll see you next time.